Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? Um, I have a live session today, so I'm excited to talk to you guys, answer some questions, and I have some information for you guys, so I can't wait to share it. So let some people come in, and then we can get started. So as you come in, please say hello. Let me know that you are here with me. I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, and I am on TikTok. I'm new to the TikTok live community, but I do have quite a bit of followers on TikTok. But and I haven't been on TikTok live except for once, but I'm going to be going on TikTok. So when I'm on, please follow, subscribe, and follow me so when I come on, you are notified and know what we're going to do. So, guys, my name is Ifeoma Odunlami. For those who do not know me, I am an immigration attorney from the Odunlami Law Firm. I'm an immigration attorney. I am also an immigrant. And so my passion and purpose is to help my fellow immigrants get legal status without fear of deportation, without fear of family separation. So we had an amazing success story, and I cannot wait to share with you guys. Thank you guys for joining me. Hello, Alozi from Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you for joining. And my Instagram family, thank you guys. Again, if you join in, please let me know that you're here. Say hello. If somebody's asking how they can contact us, you can contact us by calling 973-993-1900. You can also send a message on support@odunlamilaw.com. Those are the only number. That's the only number we use for new clients. When you become our client, we'll give you another number because you want to be able to reach us right away. So, guys, we had a successful VAWA story, and I have to tell you about it because this client has been in America for 21 years. 21 years. And her immigration story was derailed very early. I'll tell you what happened. So, James Doe says, just came to appreciate you. I appreciate you too, James Doe. Thank you, guys. So, let me tell you this story. Oh my God, when I think about it, honestly, immigration makes me emotional. You know, it makes me emotional. It makes the other attorney in my firm emotional. We're both crybabies. When we win difficult cases, we start to cry because we're just so happy for our clients. So what happened was this client came into the United States and got married to a U.S. citizen, right? And at some point, the relationship, was going on okay. They went for an interview, right? But the relationship was already fracturing at that time. And if my client had known about VAWA at that time, she probably would have filed it, but she didn't. So the relationship was not going great, but it was a genuine, true marriage. They went for the interview, and the officer asked them a whole bunch of questions. And basically, this is how I tell you, some officers, they ask one question and they go down the rabbit hole with that question. So basically, the officer wanted to know, is this, do you live with this woman? Yes, they live together. Their finances are commingled together. The questions that they asked them, they got the answers. But then the officer asked one of the client's spouse, did you marry her to help her get a green card? And the U.S. citizen said yes. And right then and then, the case was denied. And this is what's really weird about this. This is what is really unfortunate about when you ask a U.S. citizen, did you marry somebody for a green card? The question is not put in context. So a green card is part of the reason because they want that person to get their papers, be able to work so that they can plan for the future, right? But that U.S. citizen may not have understood that what they're asking is, were you paid to marry her? Or were you, is it a fake relationship where you're just trying to get papers for her, which it was not. But that U.S. citizen, basically, what they weren't on good terms anymore, and basically, he admitted that it was, they were together, they were intimate, they had a relationship, but things were not okay the way it was anymore. It used to be anymore, and he said he married her also to help her with her papers, which was not true, because there was a lot of stuff going on, but they did not get married for papers. Papers was a benefit of marrying him, and he knew that. But because I guess the relationship wasn't going very well, that was one way of kind of trying to, um, you know, make it hard for her to get what she wanted. Anyway, the officer denied the case based on something called 204C, and I want to explain to you guys what 204C is. 204C is a sham marriage. It is the death of your ability to get a green card. If you have a 204C denial, please do not think it's one of those things that that when you get married again, it will be okay. It will never be okay. It will never be okay. Your children cannot file for you. Your parents cannot file for you. You just have a permanent bar to a green card, subject to some very, limited exceptions. So early on, our client, this was many years ago, got a 204C finding. And she subsequently got married to somebody else. That marriage was denied based on the earlier marriage, the 204C finding. She had a child who was a U.S. citizen. That application was also denied because of the 204C finding. So when I tell you guys that, don't let people lead you astray, telling you to go get married to get green card. A 204C finding means that you cannot get a green card. So when our client came to us and she explained, we talked about the relationship, we knew right away that it was a bona fide relationship, because when they got married, their intent when they got married was to have a life together, was to build a life together, have kids, all that stuff, but it didn't work out. And because of the vendetta or the vindictiveness of this U.S. citizen, this relationship went south. They went for the interview, but they were asked, he was asked that question, did you marry her to help her get a green card? And he said yes, and it wasn't true. So since then, for 21 years, she's not been able to get her papers. She has an American child. She has an American parent. She can't get her papers. So she came to us, and we reviewed her case, and we figured that she actually had more than one pathway to getting a green card. But the one we followed, which I want to talk about, we actually followed a couple of them, but the one I want to talk about right now is the VAWA, right? She had been in a really abusive relationship subsequently with her child's father, right? That was I think it was her second marriage. So she had a child with her second husband. But of course, remember that husband filed for her was denied based on 204C, right? And it was an abusive relationship. And we filed a VAWA, right, based on that. And USCIS denied it based on 204C, right? So they didn't deny it then. They sent us a NOID, notice of intent to deny. That's what they did. They sent us a notice of intent to deny. So we responded, and lucky for us, we had a client who kept paperwork, documents, stuff, and every information or every argument that USCIS had saying to basically support their position that it was a sham marriage and they were going to deny the case. We had not only argument, but we had evidence to support. So we submitted 3,000 pages. The submission was this high. I wish I could find the picture that we took. It was this high. We had to drive all the way to the post office, put it in boxes, like in a big box, and we submitted it. And USCIS sent a denial. I was shocked because I was like, there's no way this case can be denied. Attorney Talita and I were like, how? Let's review their reasons for denying this case. and we reviewed it, and there was no reason except, well, we're denying it because the US citizen said this, period. And we're denying it, regardless of the fact that we had objective evidence that showed that that US citizen was lying. There was no reason to deny this case. There was no valid reason given for the denial. So you know what we did? We sued them. We just went to federal court and filed an APA lawsuit against USCIS for unreasonable denial of this case, because they didn't even respond to anything we said. They didn't respond to our arguments. They didn't respond to all the things that we tabled, all the evidence we had, 3,000 pages. They didn't respond to it and just said, we're denying it because he said this. So we sued them. And in less than, I think it was 2 months it took, we won. They approved her I-360. They approved her VAWA. They approved her VAWA. 21 years, guys, 21 years. Wow. So the things I want to tell, what you need to take from this is, number one, if you have a 204C denial and you know you were in it was a legitimate relationship, because if it was a sham marriage, just, I mean, don't come to us, because we're not defending people who are in sham marriages, okay? But if it was a legitimate relationship and USCIS, because sometimes they get it wrong. A lot of times they get it wrong. And I wish they would scrutinize cases carefully before they put a 204C stamp on a case, because that just affects that person's immigration life forever, right? They're not able to adjust their status and get a green card. But if there's a 204C finding that was wrongfully done, or even any immigration denial, right? Talk to an attorney and see if you can file a lawsuit with in federal court. Because sometimes you just want to cut through the appeal, just go to federal court and sue. Because that denial was so unreasonable, it just made no sense. There was nothing addressing the mound of evidence, 3,000 pages that we submitted. Not the evidence was not even addressed. It just said, nope, we're still going to deny it. Rubber stamp denial, nope. So we submitted, like I said, we sued them, and we got an approval for our client. And the team, I'm so in awe of the people that work in my firm. They're amazing. They worked hard. The legal assistants, the paralegals, the admin, the attorney, everybody put their best foot forward, as they do in every case. We're not afraid of difficult cases at this firm. We work on complex cases, and we are always there for our clients. So we submitted the case and we got the approval for our client. And now our client has a future here. She has a future in the United States. 21 years of living here. Yes. So I want to big up my team. They are amazing. I love that they work with their heart. I love that they're dedicated. We are all in here to support our fellow immigrants. All right. So it was another cry fest for Attorney Talitha, you know. I tease her all the time. I'm like, you know, you're gonna cry again on this one, right? So yeah, it's we're grateful for the opportunity to serve the immigrant community. It's humbling, it's an honor, and to know that as lawyers we have the opportunity to make changes in someone's life is not something we take lightly. And yeah, it's not something we take lightly. It's something that you know, it's just, it fills me with, I guess, joy. It puts me in awe of you know, just the processes. You know, the legal process is an amazing thing, you know. So being able to speak up for somebody who feels unheard, who's voiceless at the moment, it's an amazing thing. And so, yeah, congratulations to my client, and I pray for her and her family that everything continues to go the way they want it to go, and that they can finally feel welcome in this great, great country, America. All right. So let's take a couple of questions, and and then I will go. So let's see. Help required. Rahul says, I'm just 2 weeks to apply for VAWA, but recently got my first ticket for driving with phone in hand. I have 3 options: pay with traffic school court. So Rahul, your traffic ticket is not going to affect your VAWA case. So if that's what you're worried about, it's not. It's a traffic ticket. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. And as to how you're going to do it, you might want to talk to a municipal attorney, traffic attorney, because depending on your state, there might be different options that are available to you. But I always recommend that you go to court and see if you can plead it down. Just not for immigration, but just, so that, if you can. In New Jersey, you typically can plead down phone in hand. So you pay the fine, but I'm not sure, but I don't think it has points in New Jersey. But I no longer do municipal law. That was a long time ago. So if you're looking to save yourself points, save yourself money, maybe you should call an attorney that does traffic work, okay? And so Rahul has another questions here. Which one is best for our submission, and how should you, and how does it affect? Okay, I think I answered that question. It doesn't affect your VAWA filing, okay? Emmanuel Opoku says he's joining from Mankota, Minnesota. Hello, Emmanuel. Hello, Samson. Alorzi says, thank you for being there for us. Amen. Amen, too. Norman says, continued success to your firm. Thank you, Norman. Amen. Let's see. Let me go to Instagram, answer a couple questions on Instagram. And all right. Let's see. So Fierce Boye says, if you receive an RFE stating you submit your medical 2 years ago and it's expired, but was last year you submitted it, what can be done? So you receive an RFE asking you to do another medical, Make sure you submit it before the RFE deadline, because otherwise your case is going to be denied. So, do not tarry. Hurry up and go get your medicals done, okay? All right. And make sure you don't open it. All right. So let's keep going. Let's see. All right. I don't see okay, there's a question right here. So William Delmo says, can't find my document 102 form. I did FOIA, nothing also. Can you tell me if I'm qualified for the PIP? I cannot tell you, William. I don't know anything about your case. For the PIP, which is the Biden parole in place, this is what it's saying. You must have come in without inspection, without admission, without parole. That's number one. So if you came in with the B2 visa, or you were paroled in, or you were, you came with any other type of immigrant visa, you were inspected, you do not qualify. All right. So don't even bother sending anything. So if I'm not sure what you're looking for in the I-102 form, because if you file an I-102 form looking to prove manner of entry, then that means you must have come in with some inspection. And if you didn't see anything in your I-102 form and you're thinking that, well, this means that you can lie about the way you entered, I will tell you don't, because when you lie to immigration, it becomes either a misrepresentation or fraud and more trouble, okay? So look for other ways to get your legal status without misrepresenting immigration facts, okay? All right, let's see. Yes, Bros Guru said, wow, amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. Janet Lawrence says, how do I nationalize to an American? First of all, you have to have a green card before you can naturalize, okay? So let's see. So Olajide says, how long does it take for USCIS to respond after I submit my medical exams by walk-in? There's no timeline. You submit it and then they use it to make a decision on your case. And depending on what type of case you have, that's what determines a timeline. Oh, Julia Ampadu says, so how long did her case last? Guys, it lasted 1 year. 1 year because what happened was when we filed the VAWA, we had to expedite it for a reason, for a particular reason, which I'm not going to say because, confidentiality and all that. But it was a really good reason. So we expedited it, and then subsequently the expedite was granted, but then they sent us the NOID to deny the case, and then it was denied, and then we sued them and we won. So from the time we filed the case, it took us 1 year, which is abnormally fast. That's not the norm. That's abnormally fast for a VAWA case. So yeah, that was just amazing, guys. Honestly, when you do immigration, you're just uber emotional. Your heart is just thank you, Balaji. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, guys. So Julia says, if someone came on a J1 visa and they overstayed, what are your options? Well, if you come on a J1 visa and you overstay, when you overstay, your options drastically limit. All right. And if you have a J1 visa, sometimes your J1 requires you to go back to your country for 2 years. And if you have a J1 that doesn't require you to go to your country for 2 years, then you're subjected to the same issues that somebody else with an overstay would be, which pretty much means that you're pretty much only eligible for maybe a humanitarian-based immigration pathway or a family-based. Maybe you have a U.S. citizen spouse, U.S. citizen child, Migra Consul, so you speak from your heart. That is beautiful. Thank you, Migra. So let's see. So Nemo Phil says, 4 months we went for an interview and we didn't get a decision. The officer said our age difference was a concerning issue, yet it's a bona fide marriage and the interview went well. Can we sue? Well, first of all, you have to wait for the decision, right? They may not have denied you. Sometimes USCIS takes a little while to issue a decision because they are looking to do a fraud investigation, right? And sometimes it takes them a while. Now, if it's taking them too long, you can sue. That's a writ of mandamus, right? So you want to look to see what the processing times are on their website. And if your case is past those processing times and you reach out to them and you've sought congressional assistance and you still have no response, you can file a writ of mandamus and basically tell them, you're suing them in federal court, telling them to make a decision on your case, but if they haven't denied your case, then, and it's not taking that long, or it's within the processing time, then just wait on it. And, sometimes I'm going to tell you this, right? What's your name? Let's see. Nemophil. Yes, a huge age difference is a concerning issue, but that's not a reason to deny your case. So USCIS looks at the totality of the case and makes a decision. And sometimes it takes them a long time because they're trying, like I said, they're kind of trying to do their homework to figure out whether this case is for real or not. But you cannot be denied just because there's a huge age difference. It is a red flag, of course, but it's a red flag that does not matter if you can prove that it's a bona fide marriage. So if your interview went well, I would say just relax. And if it's taking too long, call us. We'll sue for you. All right? So 11 says, what is the option for an F1 that never reported in school but married to a U.S. citizen and ready to file for a change of status? Well, you can go ahead and file, because we've done that for many clients and we haven't had a problem. But I know what your concern is. Your concern is they may look at it as a form of misrepresentation, which they may. In that case, if they do, they would require you to file, a waiver. So, but I think the first thing is to file. file, put all your evidence together, and maybe you have a reason for not going to school, which you can address if it comes up at the interview, but be prepared to address it, all right, because they may ask you about that. But I wouldn't be I wouldn't be unduly worried about that. Just explain why you didn't go to school. A lot of people, they come here and the person who was supposed to take care of them basically, leaves them in the lurch and they don't have a choice, whatever it is. But if you're married to a U.S. citizen, I would say go ahead and file. We can help you. Call 973-993-1900, okay? So Blessed Princess says, this is not a question, but just want to say, I have a pleasure of speaking with you and you truly made me feel like there's hope and you don't look down on anyone. Well, Blessed Princess, thank you. Like I always say, it's an honor to do this work. I'm blessed and I'm grateful to God that I'm doing something I love. So I'm glad that I was of value to you. All right. Sunshine, hello from London. All right. So Wumi says, have been DQ'd since June 2023 and the interview date, you're still waiting for the interview date, yeah. Depending on where you are, sometimes you can be DQ'd for 1 year and you're still waiting for the interview date, but chances are your interview is coming soon, okay? You can reach out to NVC and just kind of nudge them a little, what's going on, but a lot of times the wait at that level depends on how long, interview times, so, but you're almost there, okay? Prince Desmond says, well done for all your good job. Thank you, Prince Desmond. Let's see. So Mr. President, ADPP says, can one still file for asylum after 1 year of entry? So Mr. President, ADPP, this is something I talk about on my reels a lot. Asylum requires you to file within 1 year of your entry into the United States if you're over the age of 18, all right? Now, there are very limited exceptions for when you can file after that 1 year deadline. So if you don't show changed circumstances or some exceptional reason why you didn't file within a year, you're going to be denied. And even if you have changed circumstances and exceptional reasons, USCIS could still deny you. And a denial for asylum affirmative means that you're going to go to a deportation court. That's it, you must. Now, you may be denied for your VAWA and they don't deport you. They just deny you, you're still in the country. You may be denied for merit-based case, they don't put you in removal proceedings. But if you're denied for asylum, you will be put in removal proceedings. And if you don't have any other way to get out of removal proceedings, you're going to be deported. So before you file an out-of-time asylum case, you need to be very cautious because there are people that will take your money and file this cases that they know that you're not going to win, and they put you at risk of deportation. So you really need to be careful about that. It's a Choice 2018 says, while my I-751 is ongoing, can I purchase a home in another state? I think it depends, USCIS can get information as to all that, but people are married and purchase homes somewhere else. So you're just going to have to be ready to answer that question. Now, if your relationship is not working out anymore, you have waivers. You don't have to do a joint removal of the conditions. You can take one of your waivers, move on with your life, buy your property somewhere else. If you decide you just want to buy the property on your own, you can explain to them, yes, I'm still with my spouse, but yeah, I bought it on my own. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. The issue is showing proof that your relationship is bona fide. All right. There's nothing that says if you buy property somewhere else, then it's not bona fide. There's no law like that. So Easy66388 says, how do I file for my fiancée? She's in Africa. First of all, you have to be a US citizen. Second, you must have seen your fiancée in the past 2 years. And third, you guys have to be available to marry. You must not be married to anybody else. You must be properly divorced, and so must she. All right? All right. So, hello, madam. Madam Isaac, I appear from Ghana. My wife is in the USA. She refuses to file. So please, what do I do? Nothing, Isaac, because it's her petition. You cannot force her to file from there. Now, if you were here in the United States and she wasn't filing for you and it was part of a pattern of abuse, you could file VAWA. But when you're abroad, the abuse occurring abroad does not count unless your abuser works for the government and or the military and is with you abroad. Okay, so I'm married to a U.S. citizen. I have my green card. So does my son, who's 14, who is a stepchild of my wife. We applied for a U.S. passport, but my wife was asked to adopt my son first. What's your take? Why? I'm not sure why they would ask your wife to adopt your son. It's not necessary, but you might want to talk to an attorney so that we can get all the full information. 973 993 1900. I need to get more information on that because I'm not sure the reasoning behind that. Okay, but if your child, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm not sure why. That's why you want to do that. Because once you become a citizen, your child automatically also becomes a citizen as long as the child is under 18. But if you want us to be able to respond to this, I'm going to need more information, okay? And then we can see if we can assist you with that. All right. James Doe says, I just came to, thank you, James. I appreciate you too. So let's see if I can answer some questions. So Phil Doretha says, if my spouse isn't responding to calls or texts and I've married them, what should I do? But why aren't you or your spouse together, Phil Doretha? I would need to get more information to understand what's going on in that relationship, Noble E.T. says, hi, what can I do to speed up my marriage-based work permit? C9 has been pending with NBC for over 7 months. Noble, look at the processing times. I think it's actually within processing times. You can file an expedite if you have a reason, humanitarian, financial, some reason why you need it. You can try an expedited request, okay? All right, let's see, what else? Let's see, so I'm a current PhD student and I just filed an I-75 waiver. I'm considering applying for an EB1 petition. Do you recommend, and if I get a new green card based on EB, will my 5-year citizenship rule? Well, for every work green card pathway, you wait 5 years to get your citizenship. Now, you have an I-751 waiver. You say you're considering filing an EB1 petition. If you're considering filing an EB1 petition, you need to make sure you've never been out of status. Because for any employment immigration, you must be in status. You must have not had any period of unlawful presence, okay? Osh Media says, does getting arrested twice and charged once for CIMT, but case was dismissed, affect my case? It depends. I don't know what your application is. So, what are you applying for? If it's naturalization, it may, depending on what it is as well, So dismissal is good though. So it might be okay, but I would need to get more information, okay? Let's see. Yeah, DJ Niaram says, my favorite law firm. Thank you. Kisses. All right, let's see. So Sketch Phoenix says, I was asked by USCIS to go do my medical. Is that a good sign? Well, it used to be a good sign, then it wasn't. It didn't matter anymore. Before, when USCIS would ask for you to do your medical, it meant they were going to approve the case. But that was a while ago. Now, sometimes they'll ask you and it doesn't mean anything. They can ask you to do your medicals and now send you another RFE or another NOID. So I would say, just do what you've been asked to do and hope for the best, okay? All right. Somebody says, I went for an interview last year, June, and they are yet to get back to me. Well, I guess you're asking me, what does it mean? Sometimes it means nothing. We've had clients who had interviews for over a year and then they were approved. But sometimes when it just might be they were backlogged, but a lot of times when it's taking a long time, it sometimes means they're doing additional, look through on your case, maybe a fraud investigation, but yeah. So, what's Syed says I'm a student visa. I'm on a student visa. If I apply for DV, what's DV? DV. Can I go back to my home country in semester break? I don't know what DV is. I'm not sure what that abbreviation is, but student visa. If you have a student visa, the visa itself, typically you can go home. A student visa that you have allows you to go back to your country. But I don't know. DV stands for so many things, so I'm not sure which one it is in context to your case. Oh, DV lottery. Okay, she means DV lottery. Well, there's no DV. Well, the F1. Yeah. You know what? If you apply for DV lottery, did you win? I need to get more information on that. But the thing about the F1 is a non-immigrant visa. So when you apply for, there's certain, I've known USCIS do this, where a child was on a student visa, and the parent applied for EB2, and they wouldn't let the person come back. So I guess for them, it meant that if your parent or you are applying for something which would suggest that you have immigrant intent, it might be in conflict with your F1. So I always say, when in doubt, just stay here, because you just don't know. And if you really want somebody to give you some proper legal advice, talk to a lawyer, because this is not legal advice. I'm just answering questions. I don't know the context. I don't know all the information. And sometimes all the information makes a difference. All right. All right. Let's see. Thank you. It's a choice 2018. All right. So I think that's pretty much it for today. So I didn't take anything from Instagram. Sorry, from TikTok. Let me take a couple from TikTok, and then I'll head out. All right. I'm not seeing. So Jack says, my son filed for me. On the line, he forgot to sign his name. Did it get denied? If it did get denied, you just have to file it again. Refile. Okay. Okay, Jax. So you have 3 kids in the U.S. She says she has to cook. C3 says she has 3 kids in the U.S. She lost her hobby. I'm so sorry about that. And she came to stay with her 3 kids, but she intends to be here for 5 months. Is that a problem? It could be coccyx. 5 months, because I know typically when you come in, they give you 6 months, on your I-94. But if you're staying for long periods of time, that really is a red flag for you for USCIS, Department of State, that you might have immigrant intent. So I would recommend that you don't stay for 5 months, even though they give you 6 months. But that's really something that they frown on. So stay a couple of months max and leave, and then come back again and visit. Okay. All right, let's see. One more question, and then I will go. All right, I don't see any more questions. You're welcome. So, guys, thank you for joining me on today's live. Please make sure to follow and share. As you guys know, immigration is a hot topic with the politicians. So if you have a pathway, don't dilly-dally. Get in right now and file for what you can file for. If you're if you're a green card holder, file to naturalize. If you have a child or parent that can file for you, go right ahead. Don't wait, because I've seen what the Republican agenda is on immigration. It's really, really, it's really bad, and we don't know what's going to happen. So protect yourself by looking for legal pathways. Okay. All right, guys. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.